Hey traders, Siam here. So this video is all about how to set up your RT trading bot. Basically there are two parts. You've got to connect your Telegram account up to it, and then you got to set up the bot and then tinker with it, and then that's pretty much it. So let's crack on. So first things first, if you haven't already done it, is you need to go to this URL here. So it's app.therealistictrader.com, and I'm just going to do that on over here. So basically it should look like this. And when you get here, if you've already got a login, I mean, if you've already logged in, this is where you go to log in. But if you haven't, you just need to click up sign up and then create an account, and then you are in. So once you're in and you've verified your email, etc., this is what you see. So remember, we need to connect it to the Telegram first before you do anything else. Now, I've already connected mine, but all you need to do on the dashboard, you'll see a Telegram button up here. You then simply click that and it'll lead you to something like this. Now, I've had some people in the past have some issues with this. So first of all, you need to ensure that you have a Telegram account set up on your phone, etc. So if you do, then it will work. If you don't, obviously you need to get Telegram first. So you can either open it in web, and what will happen is you will get something that looks a little bit like this, and then you simply click start, etc. There'll be a start button. Then it will give you this link here, so then you click that, and then all of a sudden, done. It's fully connected. And if you're having trouble with the web bit, just send a message and then check on your mobile phone for this message. Look out for the Realistic Trader bot. That's what you need to look out for. And then once you've done that, you are all connected, and it will say connected, etc. So that's the first one. Now we need to go through the whole bot. And by the way, for that RT bot Telegram thing, if you really do get stuck, all you need to do is just go to this link here, and then you can get cracking on. But what I just said will definitely work if you follow it. So let's look at the portal then. Whoopsie, wrong one. So this is your dashboard, and you have to understand that you have several slots. So everyone has the ability to have 5 different bots. And so what will happen is that this dashboard will simply show you the overall results of everything. Okay. So yeah, even if you have like 4 or 5 different versions of the bot, this is basically your overall summary of what's going on. In the bots bit, this is how many bots you have. So I've only got 1 bot. So at the moment, so there's 2 things basically. You have the engine, which is I guess the robot, and for the robot to work, you need a trading system. And the trading system we use is called the TJ, the Trendy Jibe. And so at the moment, we've only got 1 trading system coded up to the bot, which is the Trendy Jibe, and this is a trend following thing. So you don't really necessarily need 5 different versions of the Trendy Jibe. I mean, I've only got 1 version set up, but we are coding up other systems at the moment. So you know, a ranging strategy and all sorts of other strategies. So that way you can have, you know, your trend trading bot, a range trading bot, a scalping bot maybe. There's all sorts of different things, but at the moment, keeping it simple, I've just got 1 bot set up, as you can see here, and this is the return it's been doing so far, which is good. My trading journal, this basically shows you what's happened with your bot. Every trade, it's basically placed, etc. You can click on it and it'll open up a screen and show you what happened. So there you can see I went long, took profit here. well, the bot did. I didn't do it. All I pressed was yes. And these are the key stats. We'll go through these in a bit. Your trading accounts. Now, this is important. So your bot has an inbuilt demo account. Okay, so when you're running it, it puts every single trade through your demo account, and then if you have a live account connected to it, basically the demo account copies or mirrors the trades onto your live account. So the demo account starts with £10,000, and as you can see, since I've been running the bot, it's gone up. Now this is ignore this. So basically, I started up the bot originally. On the, I guess, the 13th. I can't remember. In fact, we have a look here. We can look at the first trade. So the 12th of February was the first trade I placed with my live account or the bot, etc. And so within a month, if we look up here, it grew about 12%, so which was pretty good. However, since then, yes, the 15 grand live account I set up originally went to about 17 grand. Then I've basically topped up, and I'm going to be putting more money into this. Remember, I've built this bot. Well, I didn't build it, but the reason I want this bot is so I can basically put all of my investable money in it, so it can just grow without me doing anything. So I'm fully invested in this, basically, or I will be eventually. So so that's the accounts. Eventually, we'll have the ability to have multiple live accounts, so you can have certain bots working on certain accounts. So you can have like a live trading account, which is, you know, your conservative account, so very, very slow and steady, and then you can have another one which is your go large account. So yeah, this video, if you're watching, you've probably already seen the setup videos. It's this one here. RT community, this is just our Facebook group. If you're not part of that, then yeah, click that and you will be. And then the quick start guide is basically, if you have any questions whatsoever about the bot, it is in this quick start guide. Literally, we haven't missed anything here. And if you're really stumped, there's a help and support, and that has a few more links to some documents, etc. So, as some of you are probably thinking, why did I skip this out? Because I'm tailing back to it. So, the bot factory. So this is where you go to build your bot. So you click start, and the first one is market. So you can choose what you want to trade. Now I'll go through my bot settings that I've got, but I'm just going to make things nice and simple. So let's just say you wanted to trade, I don't know, just the majors. Let's say all the main currency pairs. Timeframes, you could click any one you wish, or all of them, but let's just for this example, let's just use, I don't know, the 1 hour chart. So you wanted to see how, you know, have a bot running for just the 1 hour chart for some reason. Trend, I'd obviously do up and down. Indicators, click this. Basically, you need that. And then you can choose your stop loss. So whether it's 100 to 200 ATR, etc. For those of you who are brand new and you don't know what ATR is, I wouldn't worry. You will, in the training course videos, you will learn what average true range is. But it's a way that we use us to measure our stops. Now, just as a yardstick, I would just put it between 100 and 200% of ATR. Okay, just leave it like that, and then you can choose what your take profit is. Like, do you want it to take profit at 1R, 2R, 3R, 4R, or whatever? So that is a range of 1 to 4R, or you can have it at 3R, etc. So I don't know, let's just leave it at 2R for example for this one here. Now the risk, you can either set it at a set risk per trade, which I would definitely never do. Don't bother with that. You could either have it at, and again, don't bother with lots. That's pretty much the same thing. You can have it as a percentage of your account, so you can make it so it'll always risk 1% of your whole account per trade. Or you can have a dynamic one. So basically, it's a risk multiplier. So every time the bot finds a new trade, that trade has an expectancy. And so what it'll do is, if it comes up with an expectancy of, say, I don't know, 0.1, it'll do 0.1 times 2. So then, yeah, your trade will be 0.2, as in 0.2% of your whole account. Whereas if, I don't know, you had it to 10 and the trade expectancy came to, I don't know, it was a 0.2 expectancy, it will be 0.2 times 10, which means it equals 2. So then the trade will place 2% of your whole account on that trade. So I don't know, let's just leave it, just for this example, at 1% max risk. Expectancy, so basically this is a filter. So 0 expectancy is basically, it will filter out any what it thinks is going to be a losing trade, and it'll give you everything from break even or upwards of what it, obviously what it thinks, the bot thinks, or you could put it at 0.1, etc. So again, all these terms you will learn in the trading course. This is a bit of a baptism of fire, but yeah. And win rate, I wouldn't really play with the win rate. So yeah, just use expectancy. And as a benchmark, just start with 0.1 and then see how it goes. Then you can test. Now, it's faster if you do without, short tests. You can see results happen very quickly. But I would, whilst you're getting used to this, press full version because it's pretty cool. So there we go. So this is showing you the balance. So you started at 10 grand and back in 2011, and yeah, basically as you can see, the account went up. Not that much. You had basically 9 and a bit years, only had 207 trades, a pretty shit 3.57 annualized return, not much for drawdown, 38% win rate, etc, etc. You can look at the yearly performance, pretty shit. Monthly performance, yeah, the whole of 2014 and 15 pretty much didn't do anything. So yeah, this is not a good setting, as you can see. So, and you can actually have a look. You can see a lot of losing streaks actually. Yeah, but you get that with when you have a high R exit, you tend to get a low hit rate. So as you can see, it's only a 38% hit rate. But let's go back to page 1, and you can see here, this is the very first trade it placed on the 11th of January 2011. If you click that, it'll open up a chart. It's loading, and then where's the arrows? Am I going blind? I can't even see the arrows. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I couldn't see it. But yeah, basically, you tried to go long, and you got stopped out here. And you can click on any other trade. So here, let's try and find a winning trade, for example. There we go. Went long, and then yeah, took profit up here. So, so that's that. Now, obviously, if you like this, then you can press deploy. You can name it and then put a description and then confirm. And then that bot will then be running, and it will then send you Telegram alerts when it sees a trade. However, this is not a good bot. Yeah, bad returns. So you can go back to the drawing board. You can either add more. So what you'll find is if you add more pairs, you'll end up getting a better result just because there's more opportunities. So instead of a 3.7% annualized return, we should have a higher one now. There we go. All of a sudden, we now have far more trades and a 77% average annualized return. And yeah, yearly performance much better, monthly much better. Again, the bad losing months here, and there's quite a lot of them. But again, 40% hit rate, yeah, that's fine. And so this is why you can start to tinker with it. So for example, you could instead of 1% max risk, you could try a dynamic one. So I don't know, you can start off with, let's say, dynamic risk, dynamic of 3. Then we can have another play, see what happens. Interesting. So looks pretty much the same. Less annualized return. Drawdown was down a bit. So yeah, you can have a little tweak and start playing with different things, whether it would be different stop loss, different take profit, etc. So I'm just going to give you a good yardstick of what you should do. It'll be very similar to the bot that I've set up. So I would have all majors and minors and the JER30. So the reason you don't want all equities is because all the equities do exactly the same thing. They all look the same. So for example, if I just get a chart open here and just look at, I don't know, the JER30 on the daily chart, just look at this picture, big old down, rally, and sort of down a bit. Let's look at another one, S&P 500. Oh, look, identical. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, identical. The Japanese Nikkei, identical, and the FTSE, identical, pretty much. So this is why you don't want all of them checked. Otherwise, if you have a signal, basically you're going to get a signal for all of them, and then you're going to be massively over leveraged. So I've already done the hard work for you. I found that the JER30 works best for the trendy jibe. That's the markets. Time frames, just put all of them. Trend, yet both. Indicators on. Stop loss, 100 to 200 ATR is best, and then actually a 1 hour take profit is best. Risk, in fact, I'll show you something here which is interesting. So let's just stick it at 1% max risk per trade, and then we'll come back to this. Yeah, leave it at 0.1 expectancy, that's the best. Well, it's a good place to start. You can tweak it as you wish. And then we'll do a little test. Now obviously we've now included every time frame, pretty much every market. So when you do a full test, it's going to take a little bit of time, probably 30 seconds, maybe a minute. I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back. Okay, it's done its simulation, and there we go. So now a few things here. I would always ignore this balance thing, because when you're doing these back tests, it's going to show you some absolute rubbish. And I mean rubbish because basically what this bot, by the way, past performance is not an indicator of future performance. So all this is showing you is that if you went back to January 2011 and set up this bot with this particular setting and then left it, after 9 and a bit years, so as of March, when April, that $10,000 account would now be about $73 million. Okay, so obviously that's a bit far-fetched, because, and as you can see down here, that is the return. Yeah, that's the ROI, etc. Now, yeah, so that's basically if you did nothing, just left it, blah blah blah. So what I tend to look at is actually the monthly performance. This gives you a far better breakdown or representation of what how the bot actually did. So you can see what the bot did every month during that time. So lots and lots of winning months. The winning months are pretty large, as you can see, and the losing months not so many. And also what's pretty cool is that when you do have a losing month, it's not that much. I mean, in recent years, so from 2017 onwards, not many losing months, and they've only been a max of about 12, 13% or 5%. Yeah, so that's that. So I would look at that. It shows you a monthly average. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's this monthly performance is what you need to look at. So let's break it down over here. So trades. So during this whole period, it generated 5,222 trades. Now, if you were to get a calculator up, and then work that out. So what is that? 5,222 divided by, I don't know, let's just call it 9.3 years. Sorry, 9.4 years, let's say. That's 555 trades a year on average. Divide that by per week. So basically 10 trades a week, just over 1 a day. Now, please be aware that you're not going to get, a consistent one trade a day, or how, divide that by 5 trading days. So you're not going to get 2.13 trades per day every day. The markets are not consistent or reliable. So, and remember, this is a trend trading system. So you'll have periods, days or a week or two where you have no trades, and then the market starts trending, then you get a flurry of trades. So yeah, this is just obviously averaged out. Again, ignore this bit, ignore that bit. I look at the annualized return. So with this particular setting, you can expect I know it sounds ridiculous, 191% per year based on the last 9 years. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous, but don't forget, humans, we eat and sleep, we work, we're barely trading, we're barely looking at the markets, we're missing setups, we don't stick to the rules, etc. This is why a bot is always better, because it doesn't miss a trade, it's unemotional, it takes, it sticks to the plan. So that's that. So again, don't worry about the drawdown in terms of pounds, because obviously, as you can see, the account is growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. By the way, in reality, once you get to a certain position's account size, you won't be able to place trades that easy. So when we place a trade, it takes a second. When you start getting into the millions, this is why this really is a bit bogus there. So I would look at this, the drawdown. So this is basically showing you that over the last 9 years, the maximum drawdown from peak to trough is only 36.93%. So what this means, if I just get my pen out here and draw, brush, so let's say this is time, and this is your account equity. So this is basically your profit equity curve. So let's say over time your account looks like this. Now your drawdown, it doesn't matter how much money is in your account, a drawdown is basically local peak to local trough. So in fact, I'm going to exaggerate this. So let's say your account equity is like that. So your drawdown is basically peak to trough. And yeah, so if this is like 10% from here to here, that means you've got a max drawdown of 10%. So that's what that means. And it's basically saying throughout this 9 and a bit year period, the maximum drawdown you had was only 36%, which actually isn't that bad. And it's probably, looking at the charts, it's probably back in 2013 where you made 54% in 1 month, or no, probably made 54%, then another 50 or 54%, and then -9. So that's probably where that drawdown happened. But I wouldn't really worry, because look at that. I mean, you've made like 100% in 2 months, and then -9%. So yeah, and obviously you can't really see it here, but it's probably yeah. So that's that. I wouldn't worry about the other stuff. Your win rate, again, you have a higher win rate. Yeah, and that's about it. Expecting the rest you don't really need to worry too much about. Now, here's the thing. So I want to show you why the dynamic one is much better. So for example, bugger. I'll just do a quick test. I'll be right back. Okay, back in the room. So yeah, so let's say this setting. Let's say, for example, you're happy having roughly a 37% drawdown. Okay, I don't know. Let's just say you're happy with all these settings, and yeah, you want a 36% drawdown. Then you can try and optimize to say, okay, let's have a little look. So what a play with this in terms of tweaking. So let's just do the sniping tool so we can remember what this looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tweak with the risk, so that and turn it into a dynamic one, and then try and tweak it so we're getting roughly a 37% drawdown. And then we'll compare it to the ROI, and what you'll find is it's rather quite interesting. Okay, so this is back in. Let's compare it to the last one. So we had roughly 191% per year, and then 36% drawdown. What do we have now? Less. Yeah, far less drawdown. Okay, so what this is saying is that we can start tweaking the risk a bit. We can actually up it a bit. So let's try let's try multiply of 6. Let's run another test. Okay, so now let's have a look at this. Okay, remember 191% a year, 36% drawdown. Now got the same amount of trades, same risk. It's taking the same trades. We're just risking less. So now we've got 330% per year, and then again slightly less, so we can tweak this up a tiny bit more, maybe 6.3. let's try that. Okay, here we go. So look at this, still not even, in fact, yeah, still not even up to that 36, so we can again tweak it up a bit more, 6.5, and then yeah, let's call it a day there. Right, here we go, 36% drawdown. So now let's compare things. So same drawdown pretty much, but instead of 191% per year, it's now 391%. And just look at the amount, so it's pretty much the same amount of losing months and winning months. Actually, I'll probably say less actually. So as you can see here, in September 2011 it lost money, but September 2011 it actually made a tiny bit of money. So this is actually reducing, just trying to compare, yeah, so there's less losers. Now why is that? The reason being is because it's doing a multiplier of the expectancy. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly run a full version, I'll explain. Okay, so basically remember, the risk is doing the risk based on the signal expectancy. So we've got it at 6.5. So basically lower expectancy trades you'll be risking a lot less. So here 0.12, you lost 0.8%. Whereas if there's a higher expectancy, one like 0.19, and it wins, you're getting, you're winning 1.17, etc. And typically the lower expectancy signals should lose and the higher ones should win, as we can see here. So even though we're taking a 1R profit, it's ending up a risk to reward ratio of basically 1.25 over time. So that is why it's best. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. So if you're happy, once you've done all the tweaking, etc., you can then, don't forget, you need to deploy it. So you go over here, type, and I'll just put testing bot example blah 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 blah, and then confirm. And there we go. So as you can see, I've now got two bots, my main setup, and then obviously the testing bot we had here. So for me, just so I know, in that description I've put what I'm actually using. Yeah, so that's that. Now, quick thing about the autopilot. So at the moment, if it says autopilot off, what it'll do is it'll find a trade, it'll send you a Telegram alert, and I'll show you what that looks like. So it'll look, something like this. Hey, I found you a trade. You click it, it'll send you the chart with all the parameters. Actually, it'll skip to where it is. Sorry, where is it? Yeah, normally you won't have to do this because it'll just show you. Yeah, it'll look like this. Oopsie. And then it will be a yes and a no button. So if you want to place a trade, you press yes and it will place the trade. No, it won't. So here in this case, that was the trade and we lost. It hit your stop straight away. But yeah, so going back to the bots, so that's what autopilot off means. It's basically semi-autonomous. You're still having to press yes or no. Fully autonomous, so autopilot on, it just places the trades for you. Now, at the moment, I'm the only one with that on. I just want a few more safety precautions in future updates. But yeah, so eventually you will have access to that as well. So, and just to round it all off, that's pretty much how you do it. And my settings, just to finish this video, is basically this. So I've got all majors and minors. Actually, I need to tweak that. So yeah, by the way, if you ever want to tweak a bot, you just press these three dots in the corner. So for example, if I want to delete this, which I do, I'm going to delete that. So that bot's gone. And if I want to edit my setup, I just click that and I basically go to edit. So actually I've got JR30, not US30. What I need to do, I'm gonna have to, in order to redeploy it, you have to just press the test. I'm just gonna do that. There we go. And then go to deploy, and yeah, I just need to update this because I've got JR30, not US30. There we go. So yeah, these are my settings. I've got all the markets plus the German DAX, the German stock market, all time frames, all the indicators. I've got a risk. This is an aggressive account for me. So risk multiplier of 8, expectancy of 1.1, and yeah, there we go. So now I can press confirm, and it's deployed, and then I can just turn the autopilot back on again. And there we go. So yeah, and also if you have multiple bots, you can do a backtest portfolio. So it would basically backtest, all of the bots as one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, I'm in the process of basically I'm going to be scaling this account. I personally, I want 6 figures in this account soon. We were testing it for months and months and months, and the results were just ridiculous. And when I say ridiculous, averaging 5 to 10% per month, pretty similar to what we're what we're seeing on these tests. So yeah, and so yeah, I opened up a live 15 grand account, made this is something like 15-20% in the first month, and yeah, we're just scaling this now because it's insane. So yeah, with this particular live account, it's pure risk capital, so I'm going to be aggressive with it. But with these settings, it's doing about 5 to 15% a month. As you can see, in March we did 31.81%, February 7.53%, January 5. Basically 6%, etc. And the losing months I don't really mind, because when you do have a losing month, we've made far more before you get to that losing month, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's me. Hope that makes sense, and I'll see you all soon. Toodles. Bye bye.